morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First the Republican and then the Socialist. So glad to have you here this evening. Have a very special guest coming up in just a few. None other than Raynard Jackson. Will be joining us. Yes, a trailblazer that he is. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there is so much going on in the world, and that's one of the reasons why we are here. As we are out ashamed of the good news. Thank you very much. We are indeed. And so it is very, very important that we get the message of good news out to as many people as we possibly can. As people are tuning in and coming into the chat roll, we encourage you to share it with them. Let them know that we are here, and we're not queer, and we're not going away. I'm your host, the exceptional one, MCCLENTON. You are listening to us live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Mary Brockman in our chat roll this particular evening. Mary, we love you dearly. Mary is my bouncer. If you diss her, you diss me, and you will be dismissed from our program. Claudia is in the chat room. She's better known as everyone. And also Deborah Blair is in there. I don't know if Lonnie's still in there. I think he didn't sign out this afternoon. But we're very glad to have you here. Listen, you know how we start this show off. And I believe that we start this show off right by doing this. It is certainly one of the most important things that we can do in a given day, and that most important thing is to listen to our children as they do the Pledge of Allegiance. And so let's go ahead and do that. Take your right hand, put it over your heart, and let us pledge allegiance. Here's a little boardie for those refugees who just left the airport.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, great joy to hear our kids pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Okay, now for all those download listeners out of Washington, D.C., yes, it's going to be a half-inch of snow that you will arise to tomorrow morning. At least that's predicted. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Run like crazy to the stores. Get your milk now. Get your bread now. All heck is going to break loose around this particular city if you don't run out right now and clear the shelves of everything. Please do that. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, people. That's absolutely crazy. Mary Brockman says they got a dusting this morning. And you got to be careful about Ohioans. When they say dusting, they might be 3 or 4 inches. But I know in Washington, D.C., when you say a dusting, a half inch of snow, people are ready to call in sick or slick and not go to work the next day. It's just that simple. So I would encourage you all, please, don't do that. Go to work. It's only a half inch of snow, really. And some of you all might be saying, well, that's easy for you to say because your office is in your home. I'm just going to tell you right now, don't do it. Even if you have a home office, go to work. Go to work. Ladies and gentlemen, not quite a half. Thank you, Mary. Half of it, not even quite a half. And they probably cleared that away in the first 10 seconds of the snow. And so tonight we have a big show, of course. Trailblazer Raynard Jackson joining us very shortly. We're going to talk about the Trump executive orders, the left's artificial outrage, and the right's inability to defend. And also, Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin will be joining us. The PC leftists don't care if you die from their theology. And that is the absolute truth, people. It really is. And I had the great opportunity of talking via Facebook to a leftist who literally believed that we were trying to do everything that we could. Now, this was a Christian who apparently did not understand Christian persecution in Islamic countries But apparently, we were doing everything that we could to keep Muslims out of this country. And that tells you everything that you need to know about the left that really don't care about God. Literally, they don't care about God. They woo God. Ringing. Let's turn it down just a little bit.
This is Barack Obama. Can I help you?
Yes, Barack, the titular head of the Democrat Party. We are so glad to have you on our program this evening.
Yes, well, thank you. And Michelle says, hello to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And please tell her I am waiting for my bonbons back.
Okay, since we're on the air, I guess I'll say, how's the weather? How you doing, my friend?
Doing just fine. We're talking tonight with author and columnist Raynard Jackson, who is the Grand Master. Well, you gotta be careful how you use that in the urban community. No, he's not. He's not the Flash, but he is the grand host of the. Is this the 6th annual or 5th annual Trailblazer?
This will be the 5th.
5th annual Trailblazer Award in Washington, D.C. That's coming up on February the 10th. I'm encouraging you and everyone to go to the front page of the exceptionalconservativeshow.com, scroll down a bit, and click on the press release for the Trailblazer Award, or at least the contact information. Get in contact with Raynard Jackson. You still have time to sponsor your table. And I know there's some major corporations out there, lawyers and other powwow groups that would love to do this. Order your table for your 10 and send them, and of course, you can get tickets for the event. Raynard, before we get into the Trailblazer Report, and the only reason that you're here, the only reason you come on my program is because of the Holy Mother, and I thank her for her undue influence on you.
Yes, I want to pay honor to the Right Reverend Holy Mother, who's the head of my life, and through her all things are possible.
Certainly, with you being on the air, all things are possible. But I want to talk. I want to talk with you tonight, Raynard, about a very simple matter that the left don't seem to understand. That it's a privilege to be an American, not a constitutional right.
No question.
Can you talk to that, sir?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just dumbfounded that our party is just so horrible at the issue of communication. A country has the sovereign right to stipulate who can come in and out of this country at will, and they don't need to justify anything. And if you are obviously a citizen, you have certain protections. If you are a green card holder, you have a more limited amount of protection. But you can't tell me you are a tourist or you want to become a student in the U.S. and you have protected rights to enter into the U.S. No. Entering the U.S. is a sole sovereign prerogative of any country, and we don't have to justify our immigration policies to you, your mama, that's right, I said your mama, or anyone. And so Trump can dictate any stipulation he wants on people who aspire to enter into the U.S. legally.
Now, we both know, because as columnists we have to do a little reading, since we don't have to depend on the establishment Republicans or the socialists or to give us our talking points for the day. There are lots of elephants and donkeys that do that. But we have to do a little research, and we understand that according to immigration law in America, that there is a religious test given to an individual based on whether they are persecuted or not. How is it that Muslims are persecuted in their own country can get in, and Christians there can't?
Well, yeah, what I find amazing about the radical left is when Obama started taking these Syrian refugees in last last year, I think something like 98% were Muslim, and Christians are being persecuted in Syria, Turkey, and to a lesser extent, Iraq. And the liberals never said anything about the Christian minority being excluded by de facto. Obama didn't sign anything in writing that we only want Muslims, but the mere fact that 90-something% of the refugees were Muslim, that's de facto putting a litmus test of religion. So where were these liberals, Ken, promoting equal rights and equal access by Christians to immigrate to America? It is amazing. These same liberals who criticized, who didn't say anything, they got laryngitis under Obama. They're telling me that Trump, if he were to build his wall, it would be fiscally irresponsible. But yet Obama gave this amnesty to all these illegals. No one talks about the fiscal burden that's put on the U.S. because they're taking all these social services. So I'm not going to be lectured by these liberals on immigration policy and refugee policy, Ken. Don't want to hear. Not got it that, not got it that, not crazy.
just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Believe me, kids, believe me. We're going to be fair to everyone, but we're going to do it legally. We're going to do it legally. Believe me. It's going to happen.
It's gonna be huge.
Huge. Believe me. It's going to be huge. You're going to get so tired of us denying immigration to these Muslim countries. You're going to say, Mr. Trump, we can't stand it. You're blocking to me, and we don't want to win so much. I'm going to say, we got to do it. We have no choice. We got to do it. Believe me.
We're talking tonight with Raynard Jackson, one of my best friends, a great columnist. I mean, you can read his stuff from Atlanta to Portland, and a renowned conservative who has a tremendous event in Washington, D.C. I'm expecting all the beautiful people to be there, and even the ugly ones. You can come too.
So you are coming, get it?
Yes, I am. I have to admit myself. You know, I mean, Mrs. Biggs gets me in because you don't know this, but she opens the back door for me, and if it wasn't for her doing that, I wouldn't get into your thing.
Well, yeah, because we don't let Christians in, and so unless you self-identify homosexual, radical Muslim, extremist, transgender, liberal Democrat, you can't get in.
I tell you, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make certain. Which umbrella you on? I'm going to make certain. I want you all this particular evening to get in contact with my very good friend who's in charge of Black Americans for a Better Future, Raynard Jackson. Get your tickets. See, the thing is, the event is not until Saturday, February the 10th. Am I right?
No, you're wrong as usual.
Okay.
It's February 10th and 11th.
February 10th and 11th. Thank you very much. It's Friday, February the 10th, Saturday.
No, Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday is, I'm sorry. I apologize. Correction.
Yeah, what?
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Should you not watch it for 1 hour?
Can you not? Can you not just be up on this? Saturday, February 11th, and also February the 12th. And I honor him. I thank him for allowing me to be on the committee. Apparently, someone wrote it in, and I appreciate that. But I'm encouraging everyone to get in contact with him. Truly, get your tickets now, because the thing is, and you know how this works, when you tell people like 30 days before the event that it's going to happen, and then when it's all sold out 2 days before, they be picking up the phone saying, you know, man, can you hook a brother up?
Exactly. And I'm going to say that only the Holy Right Reverend Mother would say, depart from me, you work of iniquity, I never knew you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and I know there's some very beautiful women. Deborah Blair's in there, Mary Brockman's in there. Mary's in Ohio. I don't know if she can make it, but I know Melanie Colette's in there. Claudia's in there. Go ahead. Mary, let's hold Kim for red and white for Valentine's. Don't do that. I am not wearing red and white on that particular. I am not doing that. That is so Pentecostal churchism. So
That's funny. That's funny.
I'm not doing that. But on that particular weekend, make yourself available. I will be there. I will be covering it. And I thank you so much, sir, for making me a member of the host committee.
Well, of course, as we shouldn't have to say, but I'll say it anyway. Believe me, this is not for you. This is for the Holy Mother.
I know. Thank God for the Holy Mother.
What do you mean, thank God she is God?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
My life.
Yes, she
That'd be quick, man. No, it's gonna be fun, man. As you know from last year, Ken, it was just I didn't realize how great an event that was until a couple of days after you, because when you're organizing and planning and hosting, you really don't have time to reflect on things until it's all over. And when I looked at some of the video and the photos, I'm like, wow, we had that many people, and people didn't want to leave. They hung out Saturday night. We ended up going upstairs to the hotel park. People eating and drinking, and then Sunday the program ended about 2. I know I didn't leave the ballroom till after 4 o'clock because people were just milling around, networking and talking with people. And the thing about it, Ken, is if you're doing events and you're seeing everyone that you already know, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. People were meeting people they've never seen before, never had any engagement with, and a lot of these folks are still in communication with each other this day, and a lot of them got business together as a result of meeting at the event last year.
Exactly. It was enormous. It was such a wonderful event to behold. I had an opportunity at the allowance of the great Raynard Jackson, our true great trailblazer, to introduce him, which only took about 30 seconds because he hasn't done very much with his life. But
oh, boy. Oh, God bless your heart.
I thank you so much.
And people in the South know what that means.
And bless your heart. That was a very kind way of saying something. But you honored Ambassador Harold Doley Jr., Fred McClure, Robert Woodson, and I got a chance to sit with Robert Woodson down in North Carolina and you doing civitas. That was a great honor. Jennifer Carroll, you talk about a beauty queen. Bam! Yeah. Jennifer Carroll. Jimmy Jones. James Jimmy Jones, NBA All-Star, was there. Also, Allegra McCullough. You just have to bow in her presence. My God, what an honorable woman. You also had Carvin Higgins there, and you had 2 very lovely singers there. I don't know if you want to tip your hat to them tonight, but I'm certain that an autograph of anything from them is worthy, since they're both Grammy nominated and 1 Grammy Award winner. Who were the singers last year?
Yeah, we had up and coming Bria Marie, who has done several events with us over the past 2 years, and she's out of Maryland, a Temple University graduate, 3.8 GPA in business, and just has an angelic voice, and is just a sweet person, and a very good vocalist, as well as she plays the keyboards and several other instruments, and so she gave us a great show. She has a new CD coming out, I think, in April, that she'll talk about at the event. But then the second artist was multi-Grammy Award-winning algebra-like mathematics, and she's out of Atlanta, and she's a mix between Mary J. Blige, Day, with a splash of a little bit of Lita Baker, and just had a phenomenal voice. And I don't know if I ever told you this, Ken, but afterwards, the next morning I had to have her on the plane at 6 a.m. to go to another gig in North Carolina. But she stood up there and said, I've never been around any black Republicans before, but if I had known I was going to have this much fun, I wouldn't have booked a gig for Sunday.
There you go.
And I was so flattered. That was a supreme compliment because, as you know, Ken, when you say you're a black Republican and or conservative, people think you have horns coming out of your head because most people look at the caricature of black Republicans like you have Carlton on the Fresh Prince, and I was so nerdy and so totally disconnected to his own community. That's not the kind of people we hang out with, kids. No. We hang around real people who are engaged in their local community, but yet they all have certain values that we all share in common.
Exactly. Raynard Jackson with us tonight. The Trailblazer Award is coming up. It is Saturday the 10th of February, Sunday the 11th of February. It's not at a Motel 6. Let me just tell you that. So, you don't have to worry. And this is a truly upscale event, and I'm honored to be a part of it. I noticed that Raynard did not ask me to sing this year. I'm a little hurt by that. But
I do want you to sing, Ken. I want you to do solo. We can't hear you.
I promise you. I promise you, I will. Trailblazer extraordinaire himself, Raynard Jackson. Listen, if you could hold just a few minutes with us, we'll be back. We'll talk a little bit more about world politics because despite what CNN and Politico say, black people talk about more than just religion and Beyonce.
Exactly.
And we have so much more coming up. So Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin at 10 o'clock. But want to endorse and induce you. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, get them now. Send an email to Raynard Jackson right now. Get them before it's sold out. And then you're sitting back saying, I wish I could have gone. We'll be right back with more of the best at Urban Conservative Talk on the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital, that is still Washington, D.C., until we actually change that under the Constitution.
Hi, my name is Bill. Welcome to the Awesome Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network. Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. They told me that I needed to be humble, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I decided to be awesome instead. That's the Little Awesome Show, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. here on the Exceptional Conservative Network.
Here, Brian.
With home values up and interest rates near all-time lows, you probably know that now is a great time to refinance. Like the Johnsons, who saved $436 a month.
$436 a month?
It's simple. Just go to lendingtree.com, compare loan offers for free, and see how much you could save in just 5 minutes.
Oh, you said the bank gave you the best rate.
Yeah.
I have to do everything myself.
Someone is sleeping on the couch tonight.
Hi, it's your business diva here. Melanie Connect, a joint talk with Melanie on the Exceptional Conservative Network. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m., we talk all things money on a global, domestic, and household scale that affects you and your dollar. You don't want to miss it.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I'm Shannon, and you're Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHN
And on TECN.
where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
On sports and politics.
The food and entertainment,
Comedian.
family,
And everything else in between.
community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. One Spreaker, NCHR Media, Humble Press, Live, Hebrew Liberty, and YouTube for a Nick Bradley commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
The Bloviating Zeppelin. These Bigfoot enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Got my loins for the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, coming soon to articles near you. Excelsior.
From day's first light to night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. On the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for staying with us for the next quarter of the exceptional, second quarter that is, of the Exceptional Consider Show. We are delighted this evening to have my very good friend Raynard Jackson with us. What a great joy to have him here. Not only because he is a great intellectual who writes so well that you can read his stuff all around the world, but he has such a great passion for the Holy Mother. Which is the only reason he's here tonight. I want to ask you here that there were a number of executive orders that this particular president put out regarding not only border security, but economics, but especially one which is, I thought, would have received the ideal wrath of those on the left, but it has been quite quiet on the left regarding this. And it was the executive order minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act pending repeal. And that was to eliminate, especially for low-income folk, the big tax that was coming this year against them by Obamacare.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons why they have not been vocal on the Trump's cutting regulations is because most of these liberals have never owned a business, so they've never been impacted by these onerous regulations, number one. Number two, the Democrats don't speak out against anything that calls for giving money back to the people they stole it from in the beginning. And so their sudden case of laryngitis does not support me, because as I always tell people, weak people take strong positions on weak issues.
Yeah. And that's what I want to talk with you about tonight, because there are a lot of weak people that happen to be on the right side of this particular discussion regarding not only the immigration enforcement, but especially the protective order that was put in on January the 27th. Karl Rove, John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Portman from Ohio, Senator Portman. They're so weak, they cannot explain to the American people why it is essential that we support not only Trump's work on the seven sovereign nations that keep sending terrorists to us, but as well the fact that we are a sovereign nation and there's no guarantee of entry into the United States of America.
Well, yeah, what I find amazing is, Ken, do you realize what other countries require from us to travel to their countries? For example, remember when George W. was president and Condoleezza Rice was Secretary of State? Remember when that was this big debate as to whether she was going to cave in to Muslims and go to Saudi Arabia with hiding her face and covered up and all that stuff? Like, no, you're going to represent America, not representing Saudi Arabia, so you dress appropriately as you would if you were in America. And if the Saudis don't like it, guess what? We can always cancel the trip.
Yeah, exactly. But why is it that, and I gotta go here because you have been under great duress from the right, not the left. This is amazing. I would think Democrats would have already spoken with George Soros and began protesting outside the Marriott in anticipation of your big event there on the 10th and 11th of February. I thought they already had that down. But apparently it seems that those on the right are calling up George Soros so they can protest your event. What is this all about?
Yeah. Ken, if I knew that I'd be the richest guy on earth, I would have George Soros money. That I spend with our group, Black Americans for a Better Future, I spend more time fighting Republican establishment than I do fighting liberal Democrats. I can't give you an explanation for that, but Ken, I am a good Republican. I like fighting Democrats. I don't like fighting with my own family, but sometimes our party is so stupid that they're going to cut their nose to spite their face. I don't get it, Ken. But we got to keep our eyes on the prize, stay focused, and just continue to do what we do. Because you know what, Ken? When all is said and done, they're going to need what we're doing. They're going to come to appreciate what we're doing versus us needing them. And I think if we just keep doing what we're doing, we're going to win. We're going to prevail. We can't, because you know why? Because we're doing the right thing. We're trying to add people to the party and not divide people from the party.
Exactly. Now, there have been those on the right who've had the opportunity of explaining what was done with this particular front against terrorism. And apparently, we're not all in it to fight ISIS or CARE or the Muslim Brotherhood. Apparently, we have to give them at least a 90-day notice before we bomb them, before we tell them that you don't have entry into our country. Is there hope for Donald Trump when he can't even get his own Attorney General through the U.S. Senate for confirmation?
Well, I guess we could say, Ken, a lot of these Republican establishments that Trump ran against do care, C-A-I-R, whereas Trump does not care, C-A-I-R-E.
Now,
and so isn't it amazing that these Republicans are spending more time arguing about advance notice and on these refugees and illegals trying to get in the country versus talking about why does Trump only have 2 or 3 of his cabinet picks confirmed by now? That's more of an issue than anything dealing with this immigration issue. And our guys seem to have land guidance on this issue. I don't get it.
Exactly. Where was John McCain when the U.S. Attorney, Sally Yates, the acting U.S. Attorney General, Sally Yates, told Donald Trump, screw you, I'm not enforcing what you just wrote. Where was McCain and where was Lindsey Graham? Where were those people on the right that should have been saying, oh, get her out of here?
Yep. Again, Ken, weak people take strong positions on these issues. I mean, it's amazing to me. I'll give you another example, Ken. While Trump has not named his Supreme Court nominee yet, it's going to be done tomorrow at 8 p.m. But the Democrats have already come out and said they're going to oppose him. How can you oppose someone and you don't even know who it is yet?
Exactly. And how can you as a Republican sit there and say, well, we need to listen to those on the left that lost by a landslide in the last election? Americans don't want the right of the left anymore. They want what Donald Trump is selling right now, and why aren't we buying it?
Well, even as weak as Obama was, remember when he said to a Republican retreat, when he said to Eric Cantor, I won, election has consequences. Trump is doing that, but the party act like we lost the daggone election.
Exactly! We could have won 400, 500 of the electoral votes, and we would still be bowing to those people on the left saying, well, they are protesting. Screw them!
about these protests. If you think for 1 minute those protests were spontaneous and grassroots, I got 2 towers in New York. I want to say George Soros is funding this stuff. He's paying people to protest. These folks have no job. They're being paid a liberal to agitate, and we're not even called. Again, if these were all spontaneous protests, can you explain to me how these signs were professionally printed up? Ain't nobody praying with you.
Ain't nobody praying with you. How is it that Kinko's can do express for liberals?
Exactly. I mean, so you mean to tell me Kinko's knew in advance all this was going to happen, obviously? Because they're clairvoyant, and so if that's the case, then kid, I need to go to my nearest Kinko's and take them out to Las Vegas with me so I can win the money.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you all right now, if you're at TECS on the exceptionalconservatorshow.com, you can scroll down, click on those beautiful dresses that are on the left-hand side, right side, depending on how you're looking at it, from plussizefix.com. Go ahead, ladies, and get your dress, because if you get your dress, you're going to get your man, and take him to the 5th annual Trailblazers Award, Saturday the 11th. Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th at the Marriott, JW Marriott in downtown Watt. It is an exquisite. Now, this ain't. Let me just tell y'all straight up. Y'all get all dressed up, ladies, and then y'all bring the brothers with the t-shirt and the jeans. No, this ain't that kind of party. Okay, you gotta have a suit and tie on too. But it's a wonderful event at JW Marriott. There is a event on Saturday evening in which you honor each of the honorees for this particular year, and you also tell them when they get a chance to talk to us when we're there and listening to them. Can you tell us all about how this is all set up so that I don't screw it up any longer?
Oh, well, I appreciate you, Dr. Screw Up. What we're doing on the 11th, which is Saturday night, February 11th, here in D.C. at the JW Marriott, 14th of Pennsylvania, 5th Annual Black Republican Trailblazer Award Luncheon. What we've done, kids, for the past 4 years is we take about 5 or 6 blacks who have made significant contributions. And here's the key, kids. This is not an NAACP Image Award where they're giving an Image Award to Snoop Dogg for calling women B's and H's and all that stuff. These are blacks who have made significant, not a contribution, significant contributions to America, the black community, and the Republican Party simultaneously. And so these are folks, some old, some younger, who have just made a difference in the lives of the American people in some form or fashion. And so that's Saturday night. We have a VIP reception, and you get a chance to mingle and mix and take photos with our honorees. Then we do about an hour panel discussion with all the honorees on stage, and I'm interviewing them a la Oprah, just about their journeys. And then after that, we'll have some type of entertainment. And then that Sunday at noon, that's when the actual award luncheon takes place. So from noon to 2:15, we're out of there. Whether the program is finished or not, I know I'm out the door. Because we value your time, and we understand people have busy schedules. And so we award the presentation and give each honoree a few minutes to make some remarks about the awards. And we have 200-300 people there every year. And what's interesting, Ken, about 30-40% of our audience are Democrats. A lot of members who are chiefs of staff or members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and people who are Democratic elected officials. We have some people from the NAACP, the Urban League. And so people ask me, well, why is that? Because you don't have to be a Republican to appreciate someone who's made significant contributions to our country, the black community, and the Republican Party. That has nothing to do with leadership. Our pact is a Republican pact. I'm Republican, Ken, you're Republican, but this is a time to put aside our partisan heads and just acknowledge and honor great Americans who made this country a better place.
Indeed, and I give you kudos because long before there was an Omarosa, there was a Raynard Jackson. And Raynard Jackson established this particular event 5 years ago when others in the Republican Party were saying, why we need that? Y'all got a whole month. And this year, and so many he's honored that were going as if they were in subterfuge with the GOP. This year he's honoring Gerald Boyd Sr., Maxine Blake, Alan Inman, Richard Finley, Cheryl Underwood, and Robert Wallace. And despite what those on the right have done to him, and it's the thing that you hurt most is when family do it to you. Now, you expect friends to sometimes turn on you, and you expect your enemies to turn on you. But when family does it to you, that really hurts. It really stings. But you know what? This is a real man. You may kick him when he's down, but he will get up with an assault weapon.
No question. And as long as I got the Holy Mother on my side, I can live with what she used.
Exactly. Now the event will take place on Sunday, February 12th, as well as Saturday, February 11th. And it will be at the JW Marriott Hotel, 1331 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest. For those people who are listening to us and about to leave regarding Red Nation Rising, you can get in contact with Raynard Jackson. You can call him at 202-251-3424, 202-251-3424, or just send it to Raynard@RaynardJackson.com. Tell him that you want tickets. I'm telling you right now, that place is going to be filled up with all the honorees and all their fans and friends and everybody else. So get your tickets now. Don't let anybody say Ken didn't tell you. Get your tickets today. In closing, sir, tell us how conservatives can help you in this regard.
Well, at this point, Ken, as you know, you've done many events in this town. We got about 5 more tables we need to get filled up. Buying whole tables or individual tickets. And for those who are curious about what you're talking about, Ken, they can go on our PAC's website, BAFBF.org, Black Americans for a Better Future, BAFBF.org. We have plenty of videos, photos from last year's event. It was phenomenal. So the biggest help they can do is just get tickets or call their friends and corporate colleagues and co-workers, as well as any media outlets. We're available for interviews. Our honorees have made themselves available for interviews, and we like to just we like to double what we did last year for the audience, because we just had such a great time. So they can go on the website, BAFBF.org, and everything they need to know will be there.
All right. Now, Melanie Collette says, I can't tell how to buy a ticket. What am I missing? How do they just send you an email based on the press report, or give you a phone call and you'll hook a sister up?
Well, kids, with no forward a copy of the email, because I sent out another batch of email invitation, so obviously I don't have Melody's email information. If you send it to me, I'll email her a copy of the invitation tonight. But that's the best. Well, Ken, obviously, Melody, talk with Ken, because you talk to me, you talk to Ken, and vice versa. So Ken can give you all the information that you ever want on this event.
No, don't tell them that, because I'm actually scalping tickets outside, man. You know what I'm saying? People walk up to me and be like,
the one of the words of David in the Bible, if you do that, I'm going to smite you with the jump ball of an axe.
I'm going to be outside.
That's the scripture, so I don't want anything from the MCC. That is an actual Bible word. Oh, wait a minute, can't, isn't the Bible and God and Christian one of those 7 words you can't say on the air?
You cannot say Bible, God, or Jesus, or anything that's even close. Anything that's
Allah.
Now that you can say. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for being on with us tonight. You have been,
Thank you, kid, anytime.
terrific. And I'm going to talk with you because next week I want to set up, or at least a week of the event, I want all 3 nights that we do the Exceptional Conservative Show, I want to talk to one of your honorees. Okay?
We'll do. We'll set that up.
Thank you so much. God bless
Thank you,
man.
Ken.
No problem. Listen, I'm going to tell you, that is a godly and great man. He really is. I don't care what I say about him. He is a godly and good man. And I'm going to tell you right now, get in contact with him directly. And if you send him an email, tell him, and see, this is how it works in our industry. Let me explain something to y'all. Let me explain. Okay? The best thing you could do is send an email to him and say, I heard you on the Exceptional Conservative Show, or I heard you on Money Talk with Melanie, or I heard you on Shannon and Mike, or I heard you on Ralph and Lonnie. I heard you on that show, and so I want to get a ticket. Okay? When you do that, it tells these people, first and foremost, how powerful we really are. Because I'm telling y'all right now, tomorrow morning, Shannon Wright will be on Roland Martin's show. You know, Mr. Ascot. But significantly, that's already 2 people who, through TECN, they're on their way to Roland Martin BET. Okay, so we're becoming very prominent and very popular, and Melanie can tell you, her show is racing up the charts. So when you tell them that you listen to our program, okay, and as a result, I want to be involved in this, that tells them that we are a very prominent group, and it makes it easier for them to get people onto our program to listen. Do you know how much I want to interview some of their great people that I do? So do me the great favor. Okay, I've already put it in the chat room. There are many ways that you can listen to him, and I'll be promoting it throughout the course of the week and everything else. But info@bafbf.org is one way that you can do it. You can easily do it by going to. Okay, let me pull that down. All right. Raynard Jackson, and actually, let me just can I make a copy? I don't know how we do this. Raynard@raynardjackson.com. Raynard@raynardjackson.com. And in fact, I'm going to put that in the chat roll, the TECN Euro Pacific Bank Limited chat roll. I want to do that because I want you. I could easily set all this stuff up for you, but as the CEO of a company, I got other stuff I can do. So, but I really would love to see you at that particular event. Raynard Jackson at raynard@raynardjackson.com, and the telephone number that you can call him to for that particular event. Where is that now? Okay. You call him directly. See, now he gave out his personal number. Okay? His personal number. Now, he didn't even give me his personal number. Okay? So, this means that only you who listen tonight will be able to get through to Raynard Jackson directly and say, listen, I heard you on the Exceptional Conservative Show. I heard you in terms of the rebroadcast on Red Nation Rising on the Liberty Channel at 2 a.m. Or I heard you in terms of Spreaker or some of the other sites, SHR Media Live or HPPundit.com. I heard you on there live, and so I want to get my ticket. I want to get it now. Raynard@raynardjackson.com, 202-251-3424, and I will give that number and information out to you later on tonight, just as a reminder, because I know some of you all don't have a pen, because that's the way things work when you're listening to a show. You just don't have a pen or anything else, and I can understand that. But I would encourage you to get in contact with Raynard. Get your ticket now. And if you are listening to us and you're on the site itself, you can scroll down on TECS and you can see all the, or at least access to some of the beautiful dresses that PlusSizeFix.com has. Order your dress, get it now. Don't be telling me that you ordered it on the 9th and so you can get it on. No, don't do that. Get your dress now. Get it out of the way. Make sure that your hubby goes to the TECN PM page and they can scroll down and order their suits and things right now for the event. Okay? Because I really, really want to see all of you there. I really do. It's not often that I ask y'all. Well, actually, I do. I ask y'all to do stuff all the time. But I really want to see you all there. Coming up in the next segment of our program is none other than the Bloviating Zeppelin himself, Sir Mark, who has a hit program on SHR Media, Sackheads Radio, and we adore his writing. We want to talk with him about the fact that the left really don't mind you being collateral damage for their ideology. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will be back with more of the best in urban conservative talk. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in last Thursday on New Day Black and Red when I got my head-sized sandwich for you all to eat. It was huge. The exceptional one. Yet we adore, man. We really do. So we'll be right back right after these messages.
With home values up and interest rates near all-time lows, you probably know that now is a great time to refinance. Like the Johnsons, who saved $436 a month.
$436 a month?
It's simple. Just go to LendingTree.com, compare loan offers for free, and see how much you could save in just 5 minutes.
Oh, you said the bank gave you the best rate.
Yeah.
I have to do everything myself.
Someone is sleeping on the couch tonight.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm an executive chef of the Steve Restaurant, and today I'm walking through some of the meals that we prepare here. So we're making a pizza. We use French Italian sausage, like a cook and spice it up. Our pizza dough is an in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and rich. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and the Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables. Served with jasmine rice and pita bread. Now, we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. Fish is ready and our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused beef burger. Chicken spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA ground chuck, hand patty burgers, nice half a pound of burgers, and we will grill to perfection. After I flip the burgers, we add the sauce and then cook on into the meat just a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger, spice it up a bit.
Baby, I am telling you, and Claudia will tell you too. Ladies and gentlemen, 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. My God! So they got some great food there. Make you want to kiss your head. Kiss yourself 2 times. Food so good. I'm telling you, the bestest. And ladies and gentlemen, without a shadow of a doubt. Darn, Ken, you stole my thunder. No. You got a lot of thunder and lightning to come. I read your stuff. You got a lot of stuff to come. And I won't announce that. I'll wait for you. But ladies and gentlemen, there is so much coming up with Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin in this particular next segment. And so I just want to make certain that you all are ready. Also, for those of you who listen to this program and have to go to work at night, or maybe you want to listen to Money Talk with Melanie during the course of the day, along with Willie Lawson. These are some great hosts, I'm telling you. Or you're on ride, you're driving, and you really want to listen to Shannon and Mike in the morning, or Ralph and Lonnie in the afternoon, but you're just not in front of your PC anymore. Listen, we got a way for you to overcome that. You can actually download via Spreaker the mobile app. If you download the mobile app, you will be able to check out your favorite host whenever your host is on the air, and even after your host has departed. You can listen to any program, whether it's the right way or the right guys, whether it's Willie Lawson's show or Money Talk with Melanie. And if you really feel desperate, you can listen to my program. So ladies and gentlemen, please, and we'll be showing that a little bit later on in the Euro Pacific Bank Limited TECN chat room. Download Spreaker's mobile app, take it with you wherever you go, listen to us wherever you go.
Jason, he was really excited to start growing his business with social media until he realized how complex and time-consuming social media can be. It's difficult to manage multiple social networks and accounts. It's hard to monitor what's happening on social media, follow discussions, and engage with new followers. It's time-consuming to publish updates throughout the day, track and analyze how effective posts are, respond to fans and followers in a timely manner, and gain new customers. The list seems to go on and on. Jason quickly becomes discouraged. How could he ever do all of this and still run a business? He was ready to give up on social media until he found eClincher, the easiest way to manage social media. Jason was amazed how straightforward and simple it is to use eClincher. With eClincher, Jason is now able to leverage the power of social media without having to dedicate several hours a day. He can easily organize all his social media accounts in one place, efficiently plan and schedule his posts ahead of time, engage with his followers, understand the effectiveness of his efforts with powerful analytics, find new customers, and much more. In order to tell your business's story, simplify the process of managing your social media, and analyze results, sign up with eClincher today.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe, the Reaver, Common Sense. You can catch me every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SHRmedia.com. Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, SHRmedia.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the most influential urban conservative talk show, and screw talk show. I'm going to have to get rid of that. We are the most influential urban network in America. So much so that BET is begging our hosts to be on their programs. Yes, it is the Exceptional Conservative Network, live from Washington, D.C. This is the Exceptional Conservative Show. I'm your host, the Exceptional One, Ken McClinton. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then the Socialist. And we have with us the darling of literary research, none other than the great author and columnist, Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin from the bloviatingzeppelin.net. Good evening, sir. It is a great honor and privilege to have you once again on our program.
Well, 2 times, just in the past, 10 minutes, you've used the word adore and darling with reference to me, and I'm just absolutely splendidized out over that. No one has ever quite quantified me as adorable and a darling. Thank you for that.
Oh, but I've seen you in your T-shirt. You're just simply darling.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Listen, you are a great writer, and that takes nothing from you. And I want to thank you for saving Sackheads Radio. You saved their show. After the show, I'm going to write a letter to Sackheads Sean and let him know that if it were not for you, there would be no Sackheads Radio.
Once again, thank you ever so much for getting me in incredible trouble.
That's what I'm here for, man. I got your back.
You are remarkably efficient.
Listen, in all seriousness, apparently the left have gone stone crazy. So much so that the acting attorney general has decided to put up a moral defense against a person who holds her career in his very hands. Our commander-in-chief, our ambassador to the world, the President of the United States of America, the Chief Executive Officer for our bureaucracy, Donald John Trump, who is the 45th President. I want to ask you, sir, how did that work out for her?
You know, this weekend, just when you think you have a handle on some kind of normality and you think perhaps things are settling down a little bit, then Friday rolls around. And Trump signs an executive order on Friday, past Friday the 27th, which bans Syrian refugees indefinitely and immigration from Syria, Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, Libya, Iraq, and Iran for 90 days. So
that's a lifetime.
Well, it depends. It's either 90 days or 120 days, but they have to come back with a report in 30 days as to what is happening. The leftists didn't read the EO. No one read the EO. No one realized where it came from. Very few people realized that those specific nations named came from Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, who had identified them earlier, and who had also, on two separate occasions in 2015 and 2011, put a stay on refugees, Muslim refugees, himself, having previously identified those nations as threat nations, as problematic nations. So when Donald Trump decides that he signs an EO this past Friday, indefinitely stopping Syrian refugees, and then for 90 to 120 days, the persons immigrating in from those particularly enumerated countries, the left goes berserk. That's Saturday, it's Sunday. There was it was problematic. There were some issues in terms of the implementation. I'll be the first to admit that. The reason that the Trump administration did was that, in a way it makes sense, but it still sort of fell apart, was we didn't want to give them a heads up in terms of what we're going to do. So he's thinking strategically, at least, in terms of tactics, how we're going to handle this.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in the implementation thereof, it was left lacking. And it was kind of confusing. Well, it's a brand new administration, they're not going to do everything right. So, he says an email on Friday. Then, because we know that the Democrats have not approved, Attorney General Jeff Sessions is still under consideration. He's been nominated, but he has not been approved. So we do not specifically have an AG sitting from the Trump administration at DOJ. So what happens after that is that this morning, the temp AG, whose name is Sally Yates, she's acting Attorney General, this morning, Monday, she sends a letter ordering the Justice Department, DOJ, not to defend President Trump's executive order on immigration and refugees in court. So what that means is, if there's a lawsuit, and there are going to be lawsuits, that's a given. In terms of that, she has ordered her AGs and basically all the USAs all around the US and all the district courts not to defend the United States, specifically the Trump administration, when these lawsuits come.
Yeah.
So she's appointed by former President Barack Obama. And she's not convinced, she says, that the executive order is lawful. Excuse me. Militarily, bullshit away. I researched this for 2.5 days and wrote an earlier post that I published this morning. And it's rather lengthy. And if you're interested in reading the indicia about it, I give numerous quotes about the USC codes that allow the president to do this. So it's not unprecedented. In fact, other presidents, like Barack Obama, have done this before. Conveniently, everyone seems to fall apart and not remember, nor do they object when we did that back then, in those 2 particular years. So, having put up that information, I leave for dinner. Because I have to have dinner back here so I could be here at my time at the top of the hour to talk to the wondrous Ken Clinton. I just come into my office, I sit down, I boot up the computer, and I look at Twitter. And then people are saying there's news on top of the news today. Well, the executive order was written on Friday. The temporary interim AG basically unravels the executive order and says, no, we're not going to support that. We're not going to support Trump's travel ban. Then, this just in from the New York Post. I just now saw this, and I was looking through chat. I didn't know it until I came back after dinner.
Mm-hmm.
From the Associated Press, President Donald Trump on Monday, tonight, fired Sally Yates, the acting Attorney General and a Democratic appointee, after she refused to defend in court his controversial, this is me, air quotes, controversial refugee and immigration ban. They qualified it as an extraordinary public clash of Trump's most consequential policy decision to date. And to that I say, that's why he's president. He's installed in the White House, and yes, elections do in fact have consequences.
Now,
I didn't see this coming. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. Because the Trump administration made a boot of it in terms of its implementation. It just makes me wonder, Ken, what's going to happen tomorrow?
It isn't the best soap opera ever. We're talking with Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin from the bloviatingzeppelin.net. You have got to read his stuff. He is one of America's best columnists, and he's ranked up there, in my opinion, with Jeffrey Dunitz. They are just great writers of what's happening, and they give you the news, not in, well, they are conservatives, and they do have their own bent, but certainly you get more fact than you get bend. And certainly covering the AG Sally Yates, who said over the weekend that she could not possibly defend the article of law being the executive order because there was a moral problem with it. I don't know, when did she become Jesus all of a sudden? But somehow she understood that her role outranked the president and chief executive of the United States of America. So she could actually, at due season, tell him publicly that she would not do what he requested. And how did that work for her, apparently?
Not all that together well. Let's just continue to use these words. She said that she was not convinced it was lawful. She didn't come out and say outright that it is unlawful. All she said is that her decision is consistent with the agency's, quote, obligation to always seek justice and stand for what is right. Translated, she's a partisan actor, appointed by a partisan actor, and she's going to do her best to act in a partisan way. What it also means is Sally Yates, I'm in charge until I am not. Well, guess what happened? She owes this to Obama and to the Democrats who expected her to do exactly that. So she held the party line. This isn't about law. This is about holding the party line. Conversely, the Democrats knew exactly what they were doing when they've obfuscated and not approved Jeff Sessions, who will end up being the Attorney General. But this is the kind of shite that happens when the cabinet isn't installed, and you have massive gaps in the cabinet, and the Democrats are going to take full advantage of the situation. And here's the example. Here's the perfect example. You know, so I said, I don't fear this because I think things are going to happen. Quite honestly, Ken, I didn't see that happening about 35 seconds roughly politically after she made the announcement. I wasn't quite sure that could be done. Well, boom, he did it.
He did it, and he did it quickly. I know that's a man. I am so proud of him. You know, I said earlier in an earlier show that I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm going completely over to I'm very optimistic right now. When he did this tonight, knowing that her role is to actually sign off on writs and warrants for terrorism, since there is no formal attorney general, that is her role, and that she stood up to him on a moral basis, not a legal basis, but a moral basis, meaning condemnation of him as an illegitimate president, and he acted so quickly to get rid of her, and then replace her with Dana Bryante, who is U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. That's right, tonight she's in place, and she's going to sign off on his executive order and begin enforcing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you before we go to break real quick, is this the fault of Mitch McConnell, or is this Donald Trump's fault?
His fault in terms of what now?
That this was set up in such a fashion where he did not have someone who was going to back him up legally in terms of the executive order. That this whole fracas that's been created, this chaotic situation in which the leftists are now being morally endowed with levity and strength because they stand up in opposition to Donald Trump. Is this because they did not shoot through Jeff Sessions as quickly as they should have?
Well, I thought the Republicans and the GOP, and I've always done this for quite some time, in terms of not rallying around the guy that got elected.
Yes.
Well, quite frankly, Tim, that's how Reince Priebus got in there. Reince saw the cards on the table and decided that he was going to jump along with Trump earlier. You like that? Alliteration, jump along with Trump? And so that's how he got installed into a position. Trump values loyalty. There's no loyalty. Well, I can't say there's no loyalty. There's little loyalty on a number of the presidents in the GOP. Had they coalesced around this individual, around Trump, it would have lessened the problems that they're encountering now. But I know the greatest amount of blame, obviously, it's all politics, at the feet of Democrats.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I really do. But in all earnestness, this is one of those particular moments where you just wish there were some strong leaders on the side of the Congress. You just wish people understood that these guys are playing for keeps, no matter how few of them there are in Congress, and you better darn well act as if they are.
Well, you have to ask yourself one question, Ken. Why is it can the Democrats coalesce and unify around each other, and the Republicans consistently prove that they can't do just that? It's very confounding, a little confusing, and extremely frustrating.
It's unacceptable. When we come back, I want to talk with our great author, Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin, who has a wonderful show on SHR Media. That's why you need to download Spreaker and make Mark I forget the name of the show.
Good luck with that. Go ahead.
It's a Berserk show. That's the way I remember it. It's the Berserk show. Thank you very much. On Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific. Wonderful program. He's a great writer. When we come back, I want to talk with Mark about Obama as the titular head of the Democrat Party. No, not Keith Ellison, who blames Donald Trump for stopping Muslims from coming in from 7 countries when they come in from 48 others. But certainly that Obama spoke this weekend, and he should have kept his words to himself. We'll be right back with more of the best of Urban Conservative Talk right after this. Kick it, baby! I make conservatism look real good.
Jason, he was really excited to start growing his business with social media until he realized how complex and time-consuming social media can be. It's difficult to manage multiple social networks and accounts. It's hard to monitor what's happening on social media, follow discussions, and engage with new followers. It's time-consuming to publish updates throughout the day, track and analyze how effective posts are, respond to fans and followers in a timely manner, and gain new customers. The list seems to go on and on. Jason quickly becomes discouraged. How could he ever do all of this and still run a business? He was ready to give up on social media until he found eClincher, the easiest way to manage social media. Jason was amazed how straightforward and simple it is to use eClincher. With eClincher, Jason is now able to leverage the power of social media without having to dedicate several hours a day. He can easily organize all his social media accounts in one place, efficiently plan and schedule his posts ahead of time, engage with his followers, understand the effectiveness of his efforts with powerful analytics, find new customers, and much more. In order to tell your business's story, simplify the process of managing your social media, and analyze results, sign up with eClincher today.
It's a love story like no other. From God's heart to yours. And for 30 years, it's been at the heart of every book, Bible, CD, gift, and resource from ChristianBook.com. Over 500,000 products, always at the very best value. ChristianBook.com. Everything Christian. Because it's our story too.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Lindner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Honda Press, Live, Liberating Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are talking with none other than Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin, and great work at bloviatingzeppelin.net. Please go there, read his material. You can also go to Voice of Liberty on our own, the exceptionalconservativeshow.com. You go directly to that tab and scroll down and read his great work. This weekend, President Barack Obama made comments regarding the anti-Muslim executive order of the President of the United States, Donald John Trump. I don't know historically, at least recent history, that presidents spoke out on policies or issues just simply 2 weeks after they left office, if at all, during a president's term. When I ask you, sir, as the titular head of the Democrat Party, was that rude, crude, or merely a great responsibility that he has as the head of the Democrat Party for right now?
If you're Barack Obama, you think that you're doing the right thing. This is all new territory. at this point. George Bush, when he left, made no bones about the fact that as he stepped down from politics, he was in fact stepping down. Bill Clinton somewhat stepped down a bit when he used taxpayer dollars to fund and build the Clinton Foundation, which was a Ponzi scheme and needs to be burned to the ground. Funny how that's working out, because now they're firing employees because donations are drying up. He didn't get out of politics because his wife, it was a different picture, his wife was involved in it, and of course he's going to support Hillary to the best of his ability. Barack Obama made no bones about it whatsoever, saying that he was not getting out, and as far as he has not said that he's going to be the face of the GOP, the face of the unelected GOP. But as far as he's concerned, and everybody that's reading politics right now, you, me, everybody that's listening, we all know that he wants to be, and as far as he's concerned, I'll wager he believes he is in fact the titular head of the DNC, because after all, is there a DNC chair right now? No, we're not going to vote on that until February, and boy, they got some wonderful candidates for that. Because there's a gap. He's filling the vacuum. Nature, politics, oh my God, politics abhors a vacuum. He perfectly well realizes this, and he's stepping in because he can, and because, frankly, nobody's going to stop him.
Exactly. But though his comments were not in and of themselves controversial, it is not traditionally the role of a former president to speak on issues, especially in the first week of this particular president. And so I'm going to ask you and converse regarding that. Why is it that we are not hearing from the Republican side of the GOP a strong defense against Barack Obama, who is the titular head, and also squaring up the leadership so that we can move forward this week or next week and complete all of the requests for advice and counsel regarding picks in his cabinet?
Well, the GOP, they realize one thing. If they try to make a fight of it against Barack Obama, they're going to be on the losing end. Number one, he doesn't have the power, the bully pulpit power of the presidency behind him. So it would appear to many people that they would be picking on him. They know that that's an argument and a fight, but they're just not going to win. That's just not going to happen. Here's the deal that was proven out, and again, you and I both know this. Barack Hussein Obama is still relatively popular on a personal level. The repudiation of him came not with him personally, but with his policies. That's what lost November 8th. Because Hillary Clinton was going to be basically the third term of Barack Hussein Obama and continue his failed policies. So you have to make a differential between his policies, what people want to see continue with his policies, and the man himself. The man himself, quite frankly, I'm sure he's a great guy. It looks as though there's all indications to indicate that he's a good family man. He's probably a good man if you were to sit down and have a conversation with him, but his policies and beliefs and core philosophies are shite. That given, GOP, they're not going to win that particular argument. What they need to be doing is girding their loins, because the battle is looming on the horizon. I don't quite think that Trump is going to have any of his cabinet people refused. I'm not sure that the Democrats possess the power to really make any kind of headway against his cabinet. But trust me, oh my God, Ken, is there going to be a fight, particularly when President Trump reveals his candidate for SCOTUS tomorrow. The Democrats are already lining up, and there are a number of individuals who are already saying on the Democrat side, well, we don't care who he puts up. He could put up Jesus Christ himself, and they're going to try to obfuscate and stop that particular installation from Donald Trump. The reasoning for that is that he did not approve the GOP, they were obstructionists for roughly 8 months. When Obama had the ability to install a particular individual to replace Scalia on the Supreme Court. And they're saying this is nothing but political payback. So trust me, it's going to be a war. It will, in fact, be a war. For them, it's personal.
Yeah.
And to a degree, philosophical. First point, it's personal because this is going to be nothing but payback. So the person that Trump reveals tomorrow is going to be entirely immaterial. He won't really matter at all. There'll be some adjunct discussions about who he is, where he came from, background, etc. The fight, with all cannons blazing, is going to be in terms of if somehow he's allowed to make this nomination and it isn't stymied in some fashion, if it isn't cut off at the knees, once Trump makes one installation of a Supreme Court individual, the doors are open. So the fight, the biggest fight, the fulcrum, the crux of the biscuit, it's all going to be on. And it's going to start tomorrow, it's going to go all next week, and the hearings, I'm sure you've heard of the word balked.
Yes.
Robert Bork was one of the first persons, the only person in recent history that I am aware of, who is not approved for a Supreme Court nomination. I believe full well that the Democrats are going to do everything dirty, rotten, possible to keep Donald Trump from installing this person into SCOTUS. If we thought Jeff Sessions was bad, that they're pushing back on the cabinet picks, I don't think we've seen anything yet from the Democrats.
Exactly. Now, they're already outside of the Supreme Court tonight protesting about the immigration matter. They have very flimsy court orders from the federal judge regarding this particular matter, which will probably be tossed out by the Supreme Court on appeal because the president does have executive authority to institute the executive order, and the executive order does align itself with precedent under the Obama administration and then also with the legal constitutional remedy that we have right now on the books for immigration. So with that all said and that all done, I'm thinking that you should pick the most Borkian candidate you could for the Supreme Court, but I'm getting word tonight that they are going to push someone that will be liked on both sides of the aisle from Colorado. Am I wrong on this, or is maybe Donald Trump, if he selects someone who's a moderate, going to set us up for failure for the next 30, 40 years?
The installation of Supreme Court individuals is a tenuous thing at best. We all know what happened when John Roberts was installed. Yep. John Roberts is basically one of the fundamental enablers of Obamacare.
Yes.
We didn't see that coming. Now, if you install, you nominate, I should say. If you nominate what some people may consider to be a moderate candidate, yeah, he or she could be a moderate. You do your best to find out, to check the background of these particular individuals. But yeah, you know what, if you can install a moderate, if you're trying to, I can't call it capitulate, but if you're trying to be somewhat bipartisan in your first nomination, you're thinking wrongly.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter who you put in there. It doesn't matter who you nominate. And I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. That's exactly what a number of the Democrats are indicating. Little Chucky Schumer said that. There was another person earlier today who said that. I can't think of the individual's name. Who came right out in public and said, it's immaterial who you nominate. You're going to see a massive, massive fight. Now, with regard to the immigration order, yes, I believe it's completely lawful. I'm going to give you two sections.
Yeah.
There's one called Fiala versus Bell, 430 U.S. 787 and 782. It's blah, blah, blah to a lot of people. Then there's another section, but there's precedent for that, is what I'm saying. There's another section, 8 EOC 1182. Subsection F says, suspension of entry or imposition of restrictions by the President. Whenever the President finds that the entry of an alien or any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation and for such period as he may deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. That law is mirrored in print. That law is what gave Barack Hussein Obama the lawful ability to do the exact same thing in 2011 and 2015. So eventually, sooner or later, it's law. You can back it. It's buttressed. The corollary to that is you need someone on your side, Jeff Sessions in the Attorney General office.
Yep.
You need people on the Supreme Court who will read law as it was meant and what it says. You don't need people who think that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are a living document meant to change whenever fairy dust falls from high.
The Bloviating Zeppelin, Sir Mark, at his very best. BZ, how can people listen to your program and how can people read your great work?
Well, I am on Twitter, at BZEP. I am on Gab.ai, at Bloviating Zeppelin, also at BZEP. I am at BloviatingZeppelin.net. One sage piece of advice from me to you. I've done my level best tonight not to explode to the people here. If you folks would care to hear me go off 210 over 190 tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. on the SHR Media Network, Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, I will cook off. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. God bless you, dear sir. Thank you so much for coming on the air tonight.
As always, a stellar show on your end. Thank you ever so kindly for having me on, sir.
The Bloviating Zeppelin, we love him dearly, and he is a tremendous author. You need to read his stuff. Go to Voice of Liberty. Just click on that particular tab, the Voice of Liberty, and I assure you, you will be reading some quality stuff. Jeff Dunitz is on there. We also have the Bloviating Zeppelin, and we're going to be adding more writers as time goes on. But I am telling you, that man is so well researched. If you just read a paragraph of his, you will be okay at the water cooler. We'll be back with more of the best and my commentary on the fact that, guess what, Washington? You may be in line for another control board. Coming up right after this.
Have you heard the news? There's more to Prime than free. 2-day shipping on shoes. There are tons of movies ready to stream. It's like living in a film lover's dream. More to Prime. More to Prime.
I want to join. How much should I pay?
You can sign up for a free trial today. So let's say it one more time. There's more to Prime.
The best late night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on some integration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio. America. And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
Hi, my name is Will Austin of the Will Austin Show here on the Exceptional Conservative Network, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. They told me that I needed to be humble, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I decided to be awesome instead. That's the Will Austin Show, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. here on the Exceptional Conservative Network.
Want to know the best kept secret in flea and tick control? It's the money you'll save with 1-800-PET-MEDS. Save 30, 40, even 50% on veterinary recommended brands for your pet, and we'll deliver them free right to your door. And now you can get the safe and effective results of a top brand for even less with new Flea for X Plus. 4-way action to kill fleas, ticks, lice, and mosquitoes. Plus, it starts working in 5 minutes to 1 hour and is backed by our 100% happy guarantee. Call now or order online from 1-800-PET-MEDS.
From the waterfront to the streets of our nation's capital, Men of Faith, Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor, and Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, bring both constitutional gravitas and spiritual perspective on today's issues to the most influential Christian urban talk show, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays. It's a new day, on a new day, black and red.
Hello, I'm Donovan Larkins, pastor of Spirit of Life Christian Center in Dayton, Ohio. But I'm also the director of Shekinah Ranch and the Shekinah Ranch Protecting Innocence campaign. And today I want to just share with you some of our materials that we've developed so that you too can be part of promoting prevention, education, and safety awareness to youth. We have now our Protecting Innocence t-shirt. It's a powerful marquee or billboard that you can purchase and wear yourself that brings awareness that children need advocacy. It's a powerful, powerful piece. It's simply a picture of that with this marquee here with some additional wording on it. And you will want to be a part of that. We have posters that any of you pastors or any of you community centers, you may want to obtain some of these posters and post in the recreation center. It would be great to post this in the foyer of your church. It would be awesome for you to post this throughout the schools of your community. Involvement is what's necessary. Involvement is what makes a difference. We know that in order for evil to triumph, all that is necessary is for good men and women to do nothing. And then we have these little marquees. You can order 100 of them, you can order 50 of them, and you can pass them around to your family. You can pass them around at a family event or a local event that you're going to be at a festival or something. These are very handy, they're very cost efficient, and they make a powerful statement. They really make an impact. And then we have our Protecting Innocence ribbon. And in this package, it's not only just the ribbon, but it also has a message, a safety awareness message, actually a tip. And the tip encourages parents to exercise scrutiny with the relationships that your children are involved with. Today, we see more and more children being victimized by teachers, by coaches, and by other people, other supposedly trusted individuals. And we have to prepare our children if we plan for them to be safe. And then you will want to be involved with the overall Protecting Innocence campaign, because we're making plans right now to build a retreat recovery center on our 150-acre campus where Shekinah Ranch is housed. And you can get this brochure. We can email it to you. That way there's no cost associated with it, so that you can learn how you can join our Protecting Innocence teams. We are communicating with people globally, all over the world, that are interested in how together we can protect children from dirty, evil child molesters. We love to have you on board. We need your support. We want your prayers, and we welcome your financial contributions. Again, I'm Donovan Larkins, Chicana Ranch Protecting Innocence Campaign. And by the way, camps are coming. So call us so that you can register your child at 937-422-6029. We'll see you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for tuning in tonight and listening to the Exceptional Conservative Show at theexceptionalconservativeshow.com at the TEC tab, and for listening to my very good friend Raynard Jackson and very good friend as well, Donovan Larkins, pastor out of Dayton, Ohio. I know him because of the Chicana Ranch, and I hope very soon to be visiting the Chicana Ranch and also broadcasting from there. Let me just do this before I talk about what Jason Chaffetz is working on and my commentary regarding that. A lot of people feel uncomfortable when I talk about the issue of sexually abused children. They feel uncomfortable because it's not a corner phrase, sexy topic. It's not something that will make you laugh. It's not something that fits in the framework of life conversation. You don't raise the topic of sexual abuse. But I want you to realize that while you are silent on it, 1 out of 8 girls suffer at the hands of an abuser. 1 out of 20 boys suffer at the hands of an abuser. Let me just put it this way. Probably one of the hosts that you are listening to on our network has been sexually abused. It's not a rarity in America or in other parts of the world. So what do when those that you trusted most have defiled you, have hurt you, have threatened to take your life if you do tell somebody? What do you do after you have gone quiet and silent for 40, 50, 60 years? You've been through 3 marriages. You haven't really connected with people emotionally. You're about as standoffish as a telephone pole is to cars that pass by. What do you do when your life in the hands of another has been taken in the whisper of a few moments? When at age 4 you're told that if you don't say anything, your parents will survive. If you tell your parents, they will surely die. I want you to know that I talk about topics on my program, and I hope that you enjoy listening to me when I'm laughing with you, and when I'm dancing on Ustream and Livestream, and when I'm having a good time. But I also want you to know how important this issue is, because you never know who's been impacted. 80% of these particular cases happen to children by someone that they know. Most often, they're not going to say anything because they don't want Uncle so-and-so or Grandpa or Aunt so-and-so to go to jail. And so it's quietly placed away neatly in a gift box to be remembered only by that person for the rest of their life. To me, sexually abusing a child is the equivalent of what 2 gang members did to my daughter in an unresolved homicide in Washington, D.C. You see, they took the life of my daughter And I did a Bible study on Sunday. I hope that you'll go back and listen to it regarding thy will be done. You see, they took her life because they thought that her life wasn't of any great value. Theirs was. Who killed her? The world may never know. Silently, a gift box is left for us. And then there are missing persons, like Unique Harris, who's been missing in America as well as the District of Columbia for over 7 years. And while the news media may have gone away and maybe only a few times remembered, a neat little box packed away. You see, all three of these have something uniquely similar to one another. Someone else's life was destroyed, and we went silent. I want you to know that I'm committed, and I will ask my hosts, but I'm not commanding my fellow hosts to do what I'm doing or to say what I'm saying. But I am asking you to support and to help us raise $10,000 for the Shekinah Ranch. But not just for the Shekinah Ranch. I want you to know how loving Pastor Donovan Larkins is. You see, Donovan Larkins agreed that 1/3 of the money that is raised will go towards a scholarship fund at Syracuse University in the name of Shanice Milton. You see, Shanice Milton was a community writer, a newspaper geek kind of sort of, and when she could have taken her masterate degree from Newhouse to any Fox News, anywhere, she could have gone anywhere she wanted to. She decided she was going to stay right here in Southeast Washington, D.C. and cover people in a manner in which they'd never been covered before. She made even the worst of people look good. And dutifully, as she was getting off that bus to come home to us, someone didn't think her life was worth it. Donovan Larkins thinks her role and her influence on America, and especially the good people of Southeast Washington, D.C., is so vital that we raise that money for the scholarship fund as well as Shekinah Ranch. I say all that tonight to say this to you. Life is vital. And to the state and to the people that don't take it sacredly and seriously, all life is lost to all. I'm only asking you, that little blue button that you'll see next to you or the little red button on my page, if you would just click there and donate 5, 10, 25, 100, 1,000. If you want to donate the whole 10, that would be wonderful. But I won't give up. I'm not asking anybody else to be as committed as I am. But I won't give up and I won't give in. Because that little boy or girl is just as vital to me as Unique Harris is, as Shanice Milton is. No one should suffer this way. Help us raise that money. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to comment tonight on a final story. And that is, a lot of you all don't know, because I laugh and I joke and play a lot. And a lot of people understand that I'm a very smart guy and everything, but I don't laud that before others. I like to have a general conversation with people. And I want people thinking I'm putting on airs. But at one time, I was a policy analyst with the D.C. Financial Authority, which is better known as the Control Board, that was organized back in 1996 by the Clinton administration and the U.S. Congress to oversee Washington, D.C. because, by golly, when you have a crack cocaine mayor and another who can't control the budget, someone's got to do it. And so we were responsible for bringing into order the budget and making certain that we had 2 accounts that had emergency savings put in them. Now, I didn't like the fact that they were using those emergency savings and promising to pay them back. You know how government is. But we did what we had to do. I want you to understand that the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform is thinking, and it's expected on Tuesday to create an authority to oversee the District of Columbia. And one of the reasons why they have to do it is because they didn't listen to Ken McClinton when he wrote his essay against physician-assisted suicide. You see, during the Obama administration, life didn't really matter. We had a lot of abortions, and they were tax-paid. Yeah, D.C. government paid for those. And they went as far as to not fund hiring more detectives to handle the caseload for the over 3,000 unresolved homicides in District of Columbia. See, that wasn't important. But what was important was approving marijuana for 8-year-olds and to make certain that if an 18-year-old was facing cancer, that they would be given the greatest hope of all, 2 pills in a dark room and told to shut up and go to bed. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand something. Life is important. It's very sacred. So sacred that the Republicans are moving steadfastly by Tuesday to create direct control over the District of Columbia. And whose fault is that? Well, when it comes to sanctuary cities, that's Vincent Gray's fault. When it comes to the abortion matter, that's Marion Barry's fault. When it comes to suicide, that's Muriel Bowser's fault. But the greatest fault of all is the city council, composed of men and women of progressive bent, affixed on Marxism, socialism, and every other false ism in fake news that they could possibly get, who decided it is better to kill an American than to have to pay for their needs. Well, that's about to change. And I'm asking right now Eleanor Holmes Norton to invite me back to the State of the Union address, because I want to be there to hear Donald Trump say to Washington, D.C., let's make this city great again. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and listening tonight to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We hope that you enjoyed yourself. We hope that you learned something. But if you don't remember anything I've ever said, I want you to remember this. God bless America. It's time for America to bless God. Good night, and God bless.